So the song is called Pushing Me Away, and I started writing it back in December, right before I had left for winter break from college. Since then, I've changed a few of the verses around just because that's one thing that I'm super OCD about is my lyrics and things like that. I'm super metaphorical and I just like for stuff to flow, and I really wanted it to tell a story. What inspired me to write the song was I was in a situation with this dude and I was head over heels for him, but it was just a lot of stuff that just wasn't adding up. And I'm the type of person where I don't care how much I call myself loving somebody or liking somebody. I put my mind first for the most part before my heart. I learned that the hard way. That's where the concept of the song came about. Putting this song together was a little bit of a journey because it was a learning experience because this was my first time being able to get into the studio and a real studio, not my bedroom, and record stuff and have my professor and other people give me advice, because obviously when I first started out the beat sounded completely different and I was going for a completely different vibe. Now it sounds way different from what I was intending for it to be. I wanted something that was super mellow, very chill, and honestly when I was producing it in the beginning and putting everything together, I almost deleted that track because I had 3 other tracks that I was working on, and it was very simple. I just had these 2 tracks and I wasn't liking what I was coming up with, so I was okay, I'm gonna sit down one more time and try it again, but if I still don't like what I'm coming up with, then I'm just about to scrap the whole thing. So after I gave it that one last try, I ended up liking what I came up with, and I decided to start writing lyrics for it. Because at the time I didn't realize it at the time, but I wasn't completely over everything, and I was still heartbroken, which I didn't really get to be heartbroken or process all of my emotions and everything properly because I was always doing something at the time, other stuff that was going on. I was very busy. I didn't really have time to sit there and process everything that was going on and everything that had just happened, because I was always move, you have this going on, you have this coming up next. So it was kind of difficult, and it wasn't until I had attempted to get back onto the dating scene or whatever and trying to talk to other people where I had realized I wasn't 100% okay like I thought I was. I was still having extreme distrust in men in general, to the point where I was low-key having anxiety attacks. I would be overthinking everything, to the point where I would get headaches. So that kind of made me realize I'm not okay, so you need to get somewhere and sit down and chill out for a second and figure everything out. And in the process of me doing that and building myself back up and just healing, that's where Pushing Me Away came out of. So I'm super excited for everybody to hear it. I worked my ass off on this song. Even though it's only just one song, I was running around like a chicken with my fucking head cut off trying to put this song together. There was one day where, with me being in college and not just having a whole bunch of free time like that, I would be coming from class to straight to the studio to record, and then I'd be sitting in the lab editing the beat and everything and making sure I was liking everything and putting the finishing touches on it. And then I would have to go and approve the single art cover, which I love. I love the single art cover. I even have it as my wallpaper. I love it a lot. Once I had approved it and the guy had finally finished putting all the finishing touches on it, I freaked out. I was in love with it. It was so freaking cool seeing myself, but in cartoon form. Even though like it's just a drawing and it's just the like artwork for my single. It's not like it's anything like major, but it was just really like motivating seeing myself in that light, because it just reminded me of how important representation was, because I've never seen a character in a kid's show or in like a action movie or some superhero type shit where there was like a character that looked like me or act like me or dressed like I did. Like even when I go out in public, it's very, very, very rare that I go out and I look out into the crowd and I see somebody that looks like me. So for me to look at the artwork and to see myself in it is really inspiring, and it just motivates me to like keep going. So I'm very proud of it. I love it. My whole vibe for this song was space. Like even in the very beginning of the song, like as soon as the intro cuts off and it just like shoots into the beat, it's like it takes me to space, and like I feel like I'm flying in a spaceship. And so like that's where the concept came from for the artwork. When I was telling the guy what I had wanted and what I was thinking of, I just knew I wanted it to be like space and like something like futuristic and intergalactic, and I just wanted something like cool like that. I thought it was a nice idea. So as far as the writing process goes, the hardest part for me was writing the damn chorus. I don't know why. I think it was because I'm like, in the verses, I'm very metaphorical. Obviously, if you listen closely, you can hear that I'm telling a story. Even though on this song, I didn't really try to like overpower or like shock people with like my vocals. I just wanted it, I don't know, I wanted the beat to be like very futuristic, and like I said, to kind of like take you into space, because that's the image that I had in my head and that's the concept that I was going for. But yeah, I didn't really try to tear the house down like with my vocals or anything like that. I wasn't screaming and shouting or I don't know, trying to bust somebody's eardrum off. My goal at least was for everybody to kind of hear themselves in my song, but also stay true to what I was going through, what really happened to me, and hopefully everybody likes the song as much as I do. I worked my ass off on it. It was supposed to be out in February, like around Valentine's Day, but a lot of stuff happened. It just ended up taking a really long time, which I'm glad it did, because it wouldn't have sounded anything like what it does now. It wouldn't sound as good. I love it now, and I can't wait for y'all to hear it. I'm super excited about it. I'm trying to think what else. Hopefully it should be out in May, early to mid-May, right before I turn 19, because it's really important, hopefully if all goes well, that I have my first official song out before I turn 19. I don't know, it's just like a thing for me. I just really want for my first song to be out when I'm 18, and then when I turn 19, go on and on and on and on. But yeah, I think that's it. Okay. Okay.